But anyways, so what do we got for today? Like, I know you wanted to cover some stuff. I'm waiting for my mouse to like charge so I could access my stuff. But
I don't really have anything. I'm just
okay.
I was looking at the recent. Well, I was reading about the recent like ceasefire that's been going on right now in Gaza, and so what is it like? For 50 Israeli hostages, Israel's going to release 150 Palestinian hostages, and I'm looking at videos, and I'm like, a lot of these hostages are children. What is Israel doing with these kids or teenagers? Like,
besides killing them, they're safer in like Israel's like internment than they are like in Gaza right now. I saw
one video was a guy, I don't know what he did, but like that made Israel like want to like take him hostage. But basically he spent 11 years in solitary confinement and was like kind of forgot what his family looked like and shit. Like, oh my God, like, phew. So that's fucking happening. Actually, there could be some stuff I could probably pull on the. Oh, by the way, when in doubt, we can watch that fucking Destiny debate. But I was like, huh?
Which one? Was it one of the Israel ones, or?
Yeah, it's an Israel one where he's debating Midwestern Marx. I only choose that debate because I know I'm not going to play favorites because I have no stake in either of those two people. Like, I just don't care for either of those two people. So, like, I feel like I'm going to come at this from a very impartial stance, just on my.
That's the danger with Destiny, is that even when he's wrong about something, he could still win. So, but he's just like a very good, like, he's a very effective debater, and that's the issue with effective debaters and debates in general. Is like, it's not really a test of like who's more correct; it's a test of who's like better at rhetorical tricks a lot of the time. But they're still like important and necessary. But like, I know he was supposed to be preparing for a debate with Finkelstein or Finkelstein. However,
yes, I'm waiting for that one. That one. Yeah. Because Finkelstein's probably one of the go-to people if you want like definitely a Palestinian perspective, and you know, he approaches it because, you know, he's an anti-Israeli Jew. So the worst that you could call him is what, you know, when we were debating Austin, like when I mentioned like anti-Israeli Jews, like the worst that you could say about Finkelstein is like, well, he's a self-loathing Jew. I'm like, okay.
So fun. I don't think did Austin mention that? Did he refer to?
Yeah. I remember I brought it up, and that was his response, because like it's not just you know, Arabs or Muslims that, you know, have that are against Israeli policy. There are other, like, I mean, there's even Israelis themselves that are like, hey, we should probably not do this, but
I think that's part of the reason why Netanyahu's like approval rating has plummeted so badly, like so decisively.
Yeah,
and because of course, like, he allowed the terrorist attack to happen and stuff. Like but there's a lot of like factors that go into it. It just kind of seems like, you know, his like very similarly to Joe Biden's. His political survival is on like life support right now. Goddamn, fascinating times, and like it's going to be insane to see how this plays into the next election.
Well, that's the thing, because I know, like, yeah, this has been really effective. His approval numbers. I know people are kind of freaking out because they're looking at some polling, and actually Trump is ahead of Biden. Yeah, I want people to kind of also realize that, you know, a year from now is like ancient history for most people in the political side of things. Like, so much shit is going to happen. What Biden decides to do in that time, I'm not saying like, you know, he can still fuck it up, because he can. It's just you know, there's a lot to still play out. Also, just because like people may have a less favorable view of Biden doesn't mean they're not necessarily gonna, you know, not vote for him in the election.
Exactly.
Polls are finicky like that. I feel like people put too much faith in the polls when it's like
really good indication of like how much it changes as well is like Donald Trump was even poised to win the last election, except for like a few catastrophic things that happened last October. Like he basically delivered us 3 October surprises. It wasn't because like, Biden had like secret dirt that he like unveiled about Trump as an October surprise. I remember with Trump, it was like he had a terrible debate performance in October against Biden. Mm-hmm. He came out against like, COVID relief. And he also came out against like, unemployment benefits in the same month. Oh no, he also got COVID.
He got COVID. So the second debate wasn't really a debate. It was just those two on 2 different stations talking with the audiences.
It was basically like the Bermuda's Triangle of politics or something. Like it's like new triangulation. Like Clinton like manifested some like dark magic to like triangulate things differently against like Donald Trump or something. And it was like literally because all those things happened within the time frame of the election, like that Biden was able to get the edge. So yeah, it always ebbs and flows. It's always so variable. And that's scary.
I don't. Yeah, again, like a lot. Like it's hard for me to determine like what's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Literally a year from now, still. But like again, we have what is it? One more Republican debate before. What is it? Yeah, the Iowa caucus is in January, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's the
fucking coming up. Jesus,
that's the first one. So I know they're gonna want to kick some people out of the debate stage. So they're gonna be raising the criteria. So it might be where I think the next debate's probably gonna have like people like Nikki Haley.
How's Chris doing with this?
He ain't doing so good. He's probably going to be the next to drop. I think the last one that dropped out was Tim Scott, which was kind of like a surprise because even his own staff were like, "Oh, we had no fucking idea." It's just, I think, it's because Tim Scott is kind of like a lackluster. Doesn't really, I think he was running for diversity's sake here, but I
self-care didn't even alert my staff.
Also, I think Tim Scott's also from South Carolina, so I feel like, as well as Nikki Haley, so I feel like he's stepping aside, so only one South Carolinian will represent the state in the presidential race, and I guess Nikki Haley has more bona fides in that matter.
And bona fides.
So I think, and if DeSantis is able to fucking still keep it in, but I think he's dead in the water right now. Just
I don't think he can keep it in. I don't think he can even get it hard.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, I knew those boots were a compensation for something.
They are boots. 6-inch heels? Damn. What do you need those extra inches for? Damn.
He's just kind of become a joke. I mean, this whole thing is honestly a fucking joke because honestly, the one that matters for the nomination hasn't even showed up to a single fucking debate. But of course, he's going to be approaching his own legal troubles soon because more trials are going to start. I think right now he's got the Georgia trial going on right now, and then there's the New York trial. But I think there's the one where he sexually harassed that woman, and then
then there's 91 felonies. He's currently getting
he's gonna be busy going from the campaign trail to the courtroom, so that's gonna really hinder his campaign.
But here's this is the insane thing, and this is what makes all of this so useless, and what makes all of this so terminal is that every other candidate is essentially vying for they're fighting over second place, and it's not like whoever gets second place is automatically going to be Trump's nominee. I don't think that Trump is going to pick Nikki Haley for a nominee, even if she overperforms and outperforms in all the primary states or whatever. And it's just insane to me that people are so committed to this political theater, even though it's been basically rendered useless and worthless because Trump is going to win by a landslide. It's going to be insane. I'm making the Tim Pool prediction right now. 50 out of 50 states. He's going to win 50 out of 50 states. I'm just not that.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Actually, you bring up something interesting. What are the hold on, I'm gonna look up really fast the Iowa caucus polls right now. I can't spell Iowa. There we go. Iowa caucus polls 2024. Yeah, because we're almost wrapping up 2023. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
So, all right, this is what we got. Yikes. Trump, 44.7%. You know who the next person in a very distant second place? It's DeSantis with 17.5%. Followed by Haley with 15.3%, and then Little Ramaswamy coming in with fourth at 4.7%.
Little Ramaswamy, I hope Trump hears this so he knows what the next hashtag should be. But did you hear that who was it? DeSantis's team has been so embroiled with each other over strategy that they've almost come to blows. They almost had a fist fight in their strategy office, their war room.
Does this explain why? Does this explain why they posted a campaign video on Twitter, and then they decided some people just thought it was a good idea to put the Aryan sun in it?
Oh fuck! Yeah, that was probably some asshole's idea. I don't know. It's a. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah, they literally adopted the Nazi symbology into their campaign ads.
Yep.
But yeah, recently, over the past, I think it's been the past week, they've been so frustrated with their lack of political traction that during one of their meetings, two of their head staffers almost came to blows and had to be restrained and stuff. And somebody accused the other person of having a stick up their ass, which is very homoerotic. Yeah, it is. This is drag queen drama, okay? But apparently they're really mad, but they're still agonizing over defeating Nikki Haley, and it's how are you strategically prioritizing defeating Nikki Haley when really the person you have to gain ground on is Donald Trump? I don't think DeSantis is going to be the VP, bro.
Yeah, for me, it's I think for the typical GOP voter, they're we like DeSantis, but we love Trump and he's running. Yeah. So there's really no point for them to really choose him. I mean, maybe if Trump wasn't running, DeSantis probably would have had a more viable chance to be the nominee. But I just don't see it really happening right now. I think for most time, this is just we're just waiting for the inevitable when Trump's going to get the nomination. But I feel there's a lot of people in the GOP that want to drag this out because I think they're in denial and they're oh my God, this guy is not only going to be our nominee again, but he's also going to be on trial and a possible criminal. So I think they're worried because some states, although it was stopped by the courts now, but basically if Trump is convicted, there are some states, I think Minnesota's, I think one of them that is well, we're not going to have convicted felons on the ballot sheet. So there's some states that Trump's just not going to be on the ballot. So that if they want him, they'll have to write him in.
It's with DeSantis, it seems he's basically desperate for the side chick or the side guy position where it's I'm kind of the second favorite or whatever. And yeah, with the felony charges, it's the thing that worries me is if he appeals to the Supreme Court or something and it drags out longer than the election season. That's why I really hope that Smith really expedites his trial process, all the procedures and stuff, because it needs to happen really soon. if he's guilty of felony crimes, then we need the conviction as soon as possible. So there's less chance that Trump just gets to kind of slide his way into the presidency as all these proceedings are taking place and stuff.
I think so. Yeah, I think I think pretty much all of the trials are going to go full swing by the beginning of next year, around February, March. So maybe by the end of the summer, it may be decided if he's guilty of things or not. So yeah, that's going to be it's going to be interesting, to say the least.
And so much of his old staff, so many of his old staffers, so many of his most loyal apologists are flipping on him. And
that's right.
Yeah, they are. And so that's like, you know, that basically confirms the legitimacy of the case him. And now it just comes down to timing. So yeah, early next year, gosh, I just really hope it comes through. And I hope that he's not able to appeal in order to delay further, even after, like, you know, these court dates are set into motion. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I guess like the Netherlands just recently like elected their fascist.
Oh yeah, what was his name? Wilkins. Yeah. He's often called the Trump of the Netherlands, even though his political career is far longer than Trump's. I first knew of him when he was in Bill Maher's video, was it Religulous, where he was basically talking about how Islam is like fucking evil and like a terrible disease and stuff like that, and just like, yeah, very big Islamophobe. So yeah,
he's basically like the progenitor of like great replacement rhetoric.
yeah, he's one of those people that, I mean, basically, if he does manage to form like a coalition government with some other right wing or centrist parties, he wants to deport all undocumented immigrants, stop taking in further immigrants and migrants, and then also cut aid to Ukraine. So, yeah, that's all that.
Oh, cut aid to Ukraine. Okay.
Yeah.
So, does he like Putin's anti-gay policies?
You know, I don't actually know Wilkins. Hold on. What's Wilkins's Wilkins stance LGBT? Let's do a quick lookup. I'm gonna assume that he would prefer that that he didn't. Wait, what? Am I spelling his name right? Wait,
Wilkins.
Yeah, Netherlands election. Wait, what? I'm sorry, I said Wilkins. His name is Garrett Wilders. Sorry, Wilders, not Wilkins. Goddamn Dutch. All right, hang on. LGBTQ. Yeah. So.
Oh God! I just remember. I have to like check in on my friend from the Netherlands now. Holy shit!
Yeah, that's extremely. Ask him like what happened.
Yeah, that's extremely golden dawning on me right now. No, Golden Dawn was a white nationalist group in Greece that actually was like responsible for like a lot of like political violence for like a neo-fascist movement. A lot of neo-fascist movements are like they're like very benevolent. They don't do like violence. Golden Dawn was extremely fucking violent. Like
that was the group that had like the real half-ass Nazi symbol that kind of looked like a swastika, but like it was enough for them like to claim plausible deniability about it. Like,
that's amazing. It's like a Nazi symbol that you would find in like a bathroom stall.
Yeah, basically.
Like, I don't want to get caught by like my manager. I only have like 2 seconds to do this.
God.
But yeah, like oh damn, yeah, gotta check in on our Euro buddies.
Euro buddies.
Gotta check in on our Hungarian friends.
You know, I'm not really finding a lot on Wilders' stance on. Hang on, let me look at it right here. Let's see. Political positions, but strongly opposes the Dutch political system in general. Oh, okay. So he's doing a Hitler deal. So, in his view, Dutch society advocates rules by consensus and cultural relativism, which he believes that this should change so as not tolerate the intolerant, quote unquote.
Consensus. He doesn't like democracy, y'all.
Yeah, I know. He wants.
I wonder what he wants to do to their healthcare, because like they already have a private healthcare system, but it's just like. It's like, so like when like the one thing I like debating like Republicans about when it comes to healthcare is like, I'll ask them, oh, do you like Obamacare? And they'll be like, no. I was like, oh, no. So like you might favor something like, you know, like, do you like the Netherlands, like the Dutch healthcare system because it's privatized? And be like, yes. I'll be like, they're the fucking same, bitch. They're like literally the fucking same, except like the Netherlands like has like more like regulatory apparatuses than Obamacare does. So you should like the Netherlands even more. And they just go like, mad noises. But yeah, like I wonder like what I wonder what like they don't like. Or I wonder what he doesn't like about the Dutch system of government.
I don't know. Probably because it allows too many ideas that aren't his to fucking take effect. So, yeah. Views on LGBT. Okay, so Wilder's the LGBTQ community in Europe is threatened by mass immigration from the Muslim world. He said that we were always one of the top parties that were supported by the gay community. Oh. So basically he's saying you need us to protect you from the Muslim extremists. So he's not necessarily, well, honestly, he's not, I haven't really found anything that says that he's against like, LGBTQ rights. So I guess that's the little silver lining in this fucking Dutch turd, right?
That's kind of like, I mean, like he's basically, so it's like every fascist regime has like a political target. And any fascist regime is going to like, exploit the political environment to inflict as much as they can against the target. And right now it's just like, Muslims. So like he's even willing to like invoke like LGBT safety in order to undermine and sabotage Muslims.
Yeah.
That's what they do. It's like that's like literally like what like Hitler did. Like with Hitler, it wasn't like necessarily like an in group, although of course it was an in group thing as well. It was also like economics. Like, hey, like it's like like the Jewish population. Like you have economic grievances. Hey, fucking like who's controlling all this shit? Blah blah blah. It's the Jewish people. And so like they always like victimize one group in order to demonize another group. And so that's what like he's doing there.
It's kind of similar to like how I've seen. There was one video I was seeing of there was a pro-Palestine protest, and I think a trans person was there, and some pro-Israeli people walked up to them and was like, "Don't you know that fucking the Palestinians will fucking kill you?" And then they started saying some like bigoted shit to her, and it's like I feel like they're mad that Palestine exists because like they're not allowed to be as bigoted because they like to use LGBT as like kind of like a wedge point to keep them from supporting Palestine. I mean, I've seen a lot of very like pro-gay Israeli posts of like, soldiers kissing before they, go bomb a hospital. And it's like, oh, that's not the, that when we said be gay, do crime, that's not what we meant. So.
True. And like, I've seen the same thing where like a lot of, are you in that Facebook group, Libertarians versus Communists?
You got to send me the link to this group because apparently it seems like some fire shit happens there sometimes.
It's really fire, and it's actually a really effective way of like steel manning leftist positions. Because like one of the arguments that I see like leftists fail to address there is that like like the libertarians will say like, oh, like why are you leftists so desperate to defend a population of people who are opposed to all of your LGBT madness, they call it basically. And it's like, well, it's like regardless of like what any population's positions are, which are of course going to be variable as it's not like monolithic, it's still genocide whether or not like, we can identify certain like individuals within that population that are either pro-LGBT or anti-LGBT. So it's kind of like a whataboutism, but still like that is like a very like common argument that they're willing to deploy. It's like, well, Palestine fucking hates LGBT people. It's really fucking funny to watch you guys like, like fawn over Palestinian rights when they want to like dismantle your rights for being LGBT, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I'm going to have to send you the link.
Never mind the fact that Israel doesn't allow gay marriage. So it's like,
Exactly. Like it's insane. And like, yeah, that's where like, I was like basically like doing like the whole like debate me bro like post in like the group, and like nobody wanted to. Like I've been trying to get a fascist to debate us for a long fucking time. But like nobody wants to. They're willing to like shit post in response to like the posts I make, but I'm like, oh well, like let's talk about it then. Like they have like a lot of criticisms and like that's fucking dumb.
It's
like,
just
let's elaborate.
It's just far easier to be an asshole online than to actually like talk about things. I kind of realized that when I call out a lot of people who want to like be transphobic on my page, I'm like, okay, so like,
I think that's also because like most people don't have more layers of analysis when they defend Donald Trump, and like when they try to excuse him for like not being a fascist, like they don't have much like ammunition, or they don't have like many options in the dialogue tree to excuse his behavior. They know that like after one or two lines of questioning that their argument is going to fail and like capsize.
Yeah, because like most people, like I don't think they really like take a deep dive in their politics. It's just they're just like, this is an excuse for me to be a fucking douchebag. And I think that's as far as their fucking analysis goes.
Yep. What was it like? There were like a bunch of assholes like in one of your comment threads, and like, what did I like messaged like 8 of them, and they all had like these like extravagant excuses to like not talk about it. And like, I wasn't like I had like a back and forth with one of them, but it wasn't in but like, I was also just kind of like, hey, like, like, why don't like we actually talk to this? And like they were all like, they all had reasons not to, but they all had the time for your comment threads.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. They just some people's existence is just like, I'm just here to bully people off the internet and like make them feel bad. Yep. Like, yeah. So